this was already stressful for me, but now I realize that my photos are all going to be me sitting alone somewhere because I'm an introvert, and although making connections is a good thing, if you're an introvert, you can still do it. So, and I'm going to fail right away, even before I start, because I have to sit in front of the table, but I won't be able to see people on my left and right, so I prefer to sit here. So this year, Skroutz became 20 years. And I would like to walk you through through that journey and the failures that we had all those years. First things first, to introduce myself, I'm George. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Skroutz. I hold an engineering degree, electrical engineering degree, and although my childhood dream was that I would be breathing soldering fumes for the rest of my life, but for better or for worse, software won, and I've been sitting in front of a computer doing engineering stuff for the better part of my career. I still get to solder things, and I like building and creating things with my hands, but only as a hobby now. So, as I said, Skroutz this year becomes 20 years. And I would have never thought that I would reach that stage, but it has been a difficult journey. And I know that fear of failure is probably the most important factor that someone won't take that first step required to do anything. And that doesn't have to be necessarily a startup. So let me walk you through some of those failures. And the first one is me trying to be a designer, by the way. So this is Skroutz in 2005. I did everything myself because there were no co-founders. I was just starting it myself, building the idea. So the idea was that it's going to be as simple as Google, but it became as the mess that you have in front of your screen. So in 2005, the idea of a startup was not that popular as it is today. There were no VCs, or maybe I didn't know about them. But how about the common startup advice that someone will give you? And I want to walk you through how we behaved in those areas. So first things first, choose your partners, right? Many of you may need to raise capital, and that means partnering with a VC or angel investors or whoever, could be your uncle. We never raised money because you couldn't raise money at the point, but we did the unthinkable. We gave away 50% of our company to another company because we thought we were the worst businessmen you could imagine. So we had no idea what we had in our hands, and we were struggling. We had day jobs. We weren't making any money off of Skroutz, so we said, why not give it away for resources? So these resources never came, and 13 years after that, we bought ourselves for 10 million. So this is the first reverse VC event. Instead of raising money, we were putting money to buy our own shares. So if there was an award, we would definitely win that award in worst business decisions ever. Then how about not losing focus? So again, because Skroutz wasn't making money from day one and we never raised capital, we were trying to think ways of make money here and there. So who's ever old enough to remember the coupon craze back in the 2008 or 9 where everyone was buying a coupons? So we built a coupon aggregator. It only lasted for 6 months or 1 year. I don't remember. Well, we definitely lost focus there. And then again, for reasons that I can't even explain to myself, we went to do food delivery, which wasn't our expertise. I don't know what we were thinking at the time, but yeah, these things, even in hindsight, I mean, you can't believe why you made those decisions, but it happens. You do them, and it's okay to have failures. And then in 2006-07, it was a time where every 6 months, maybe in 2008, we were Grexiting. So it was either this month or the next month, or Greece is going to default. So we were thinking, what happens if that occurs? So we decided to expand, and our first try was Turkey, which was an awful decision, and we had to close it out after, I remember correctly, it was 7 years. So Turkey went in a recession as soon as we landed there, and then we went to the UK. Again, we had to shut it down, and the UK Brexited. So we thought we were cursed. One business idea that came up was to threaten countries that were coming there and make some money that way. But eventually we said that's how the system works. I mean, it is about trying, failing, and learning. And although we had, I mean, these are 4 of the most 3 failures that I mentioned, but I could have 100 sides sorted alphabetically by date, however you want it, with all the stupid things that we did. But eventually, I mean, I'm one of the lucky ones being here, telling you about a success story. But it could be, it is my first and only startup, but it could be my 3rd or 4th, and that's pretty much natural. So, and about succeeding, I would like to, what succeed means and what's the positive side of the story other than failures. So failure, even if I tell you how many failures I made and how eventually I got to where I am, it still is a difficult thing to mentally handle. Failure is always there, and it frightens people to take the first step. So I have a trick called changing the narrative. Small story, might seem unrelated, but bear with me, it will make sense in a bit. So as a geek dad, I wanted my son to build Legos from the age of 6. And like all dads, I thought that my son was brighter than anyone else, and that the ages on the Lego boxes were for other kids, not mine. So it didn't make, for me, it was okay that the age was for 12 plus. So I had my 6-year-old son trying to build a 12-year plus Lego. So I was really focused on the instructions, and I was trying to get him to do the right thing, but he was picking up random pieces, sticking them together, making weird sounds, and instead of building a helicopter, we were building something like a submarine or a weird dinosaur or something. So what I did was I changed the narrative from trying to build a Lego to spending time with my son. And I think many, if you have children, you probably find, and you're a geek, because geeks think this way. I changed the narrative to, I'm here to spend time with my son. It doesn't matter what we build. And I think it has to be the same for startups. You're here, or it doesn't have to be a startup. We'll talk about that later as well. But you're here to build something, to create, to take that first step. It doesn't have to be a success. So, but in the case of startups, I will also give you a few tips. First, have a vision. I know that you've heard this 100 times, but it's very important. Secondly, minimize distractions. I know that raising money is a part of the process, but if you can avoid it, we never raised money, we never had to go pitch, and that helped us. I mean, of course, it led us to some stupid decision, but it helped us minimize distractions, which can be a very big distraction. Third, ignore the world. Again, if I always heard what other people are saying to me, I would have never done Skroutz or any of the other things that we've done, because everyone has a different view. If you have it inside you, and if you want to create, then start doing it. Of course, you'll make a lot of mistakes, but that's fine. The important thing is to take that first step in whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be a startup again. Say, it can be picking up a hobby or something similar. And last but not least, avoid drama. you're gonna fail, that's for sure. So, and you're gonna fail, you're probably gonna fail in small decisions or bigger decisions, but it makes no sense crying over spilled milk. If something bad happened, you can move on. And last, I know I'm gonna upset some of my friends here, investors mostly. Please, can we stop talking about unicorns? It's not about it. It doesn't matter how much your company is worth at a random era or stage of the financial system. 10 years ago, we had billion-dollar companies that now are worth nothing. So it's not about the valuation. It's about creating. And I want to show you a quote that has resonated with me early on. It goes, when you don't create things, you become defined by your tastes rather than your ability. Your tastes only narrow and exclude people, so create. And this is, if my goal from this presentation is for you to make that first step in whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. You can see those three not good businessmen for businessmen, and I think we did all right. Although we weren't that, we did our first set of big failures. So I'm talking about anything. It can be picking up a hobby, creating a family, creating a community. It doesn't have to be a startup, but it has to be making that first step, creating, building, doing something, and inspired by the first 2 minutes, the video of Steve Jobs. Yeah, you need to do it yourself. You need to get your hands dirty and do everything. In the first days of Skroutz, we were taking turns in washing dishes. So whatever it is, you have to do it. And if you fail, that's fine. I mean, more failures means that you're taking the difficult decisions and you're doing things in life that are hard. And again, I want to share something that I like from a book, which is called The Comfort Crisis. It says, make it as hard as possible and don't die. Do the hard things. And one of it is taking that first step. Thank you.